I'm Tommaso Zillio. I'm originary of Italy, but now I live in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada. When I started the correspondence lesson with Tom, I was more or less a casual guitarist. I had this on-off relationship with the instrument. I was playing, then not playing for a while. At a certain point, I got this huge this feeling. I needed to get more. I wanted to play better, but not just better. I wanted to play and play something great. And I remember I just found this article on a website of Tom, and it was, if I remember well, it was an article about setting goals on your practice, and I started to think, hey, this is the first thing. This is the first article I see on guitar without one tablature. The guy's not giving me licks; he's giving me concepts. It's interesting. It's something different than the usual thing. And then I started to read the article and actually thinking, yeah, before this I was just practicing because I knew I had to practice. I did not know exactly why I had to practice. After reading this article, I thought, yeah, it's the why the important thing, the how we can, the what we can, but why I'm practicing, what exactly I want to achieve, how I want to play at the end, what type of guitarist I want to be. So I read everything I could find on Tom Hess on the net, all his articles. And after a week or so, I'm thinking, this man really has his ideas clear. And incredibly enough, I didn't even check his playing at this point. I was like, then I was going on his site, and I seen the video section just by chance, and just before clicking on OK, let's write an email to Tom. No, let's see the videos before. And this completely blew me out. This guy was better than any other guitarist I've ever seen in my life. If not that, he was fastest. This was, at the time I was really into fast stuff. Now I'm still into fast stuff, but I also want to get a certain feeling out of it and a certain emotion out of it. So I just write them and say, hey, I'm this type of guy, I want to play this type of things. Do you think you can give me some correspondence lesson like you say on the website? Yeah, sure. And he started giving me this lesson essentially. I was taking one every month. There are different frequencies as we know. And the lessons were incredible. It seemed, from just what I said to Tom in a couple of emails, he seemed to know exactly where I was and what I needed at the time. I remember just before getting the third lesson, I was thinking, I'd really like to have a lesson about this type of picking technique. And before I could actually write to Tom, the third lesson arrived, and it was exactly on this picking technique. And I was like, man, this guy knows what he's doing. And I've never been not deluded. I've never been disappointed by Tom's lesson. Okay, he seems to be always a couple of steps beyond me, ahead of me, and sometimes he knows what I need better than me. What results I had from correspondence lessons? I just say that I can play now things that I will never have dreamed I will be able to play when I started, and I'm hungry for more. I can safely say that unless I lose one of my hands, I will never stop correspondence lesson with Tom. He's giving me so much value. I'm not a beginner anymore. I think I'm going to be pretty advanced. Not yet virtuoso levels, but towards that. And Tom is still giving me so much value, so much guidance through this world. It's amazing. I mean, we are now covering topics that range from composition to improvisation, expression, higher emotional concepts. It's simply amazing. The guy is not just a player. Tom is a complete human person, fully dedicated to music. His approach is so totalizing, even just with correspondence lesson, and it's incredible. Correspondence lessons are completely different from a frontal one-on-one lesson, because on a one-on-one lesson you just go there, the guy will show you something, you can learn this something or not, maybe you will have some hands out, some sheet of paper with the exercise right over. Sometimes some teachers actually write the exercise on the spot, and they are nearly incomprehensible when you go home and read it. Of course, you cannot do that in a correspondence lesson. The approach is completely different. What Tom does is that he takes your goals, the goals you have to talk with Tom before, of course. You have to tell him all your goals, and then Tom takes your goals and study a strategy for you to get there with the easiest and fastest path that preserves quality, of course. And this path can be intuitive or not to you at the beginning. Sometimes Tom seems to take pretty long deviation. At a certain point, he just come back, and you understand, oh, that's why he was taking this road. It's literally a full strategy. I think from the lesson I have, I think Tom thinks 1 or 2 years in advance, like sets a plan for 1 or 2 years for you. This is my impression. I never asked him actually, but and it gives you those exercises carefully calibrated to your level and in careful progression to get you there without straining you too much but not bore you in the meantime. And it's just I think that the biggest advantage is that since he can do this, since you have to spend actually less time on actually giving you the lesson, he can spend all this time actually thinking of what to give you and what path you have to follow. And this is an amazing value, because on private lesson, many teachers actually just wing it. They have this guy coming, okay, what we do today? Yeah, I can do that. And it's natural when someone has something like 50 students or something like that. Of course, nobody can manage 50 students if you have to spend then half an hour or 1 hour with this guy every week. While Tom actually use all, probably I guess, because this is what appears from what I'm receiving. He spent all his time thinking strategically. And actually what I found is that I was progressing much faster with the correspondence lesson than with any other thing I did before, just because of this strategical thinking. It's more important to get the right things at the right moment than getting a lot of material that you will never apply. There is a very, very easy recipe to distinguish good guitar teacher to bad guitar teacher. If at the first lesson they will ask you what are your goals, or what type of guitarist you want to be, or what type of music you want to play, they are probably good guitar teacher, because they do care about you. If they don't ask you that, and they just start, okay, this is the scale, play it, fly away as fast as you can, okay? Because those guys have just a single path in their mind, and if you're not in this path, they will not give anything good to you. You may be in this path, okay, but this will be completely by chance. The strength of Tom's approach is that he takes your goals, and he knows. He has been there, so he knows how to get you there. And he's not giving you stuff that you don't care about. Of course, you can discuss with him your goals. So if you have problem even setting your goal, he will give you a hand. No problem about that. But that's the strength of Tom's teaching, actually. Typical guitar teacher, the vast majority of guitar teachers don't do that. They are just giving you a preset set of lesson, essentially something already pre-cooked and prepared, and give this to you. You practice this, then you practice this other scale, and you practice this other scale, and you will never go anywhere because you don't care about the scales, maybe.